Okay, so when it comes to macOS 13, I'll be happy to let you know that Beta 11 has officially been released today, and this update for me on my MacBook, it came in at exactly 944.7 megabytes, of course updating from Beta 10, and the unpacked installation size jumped to 1.79 gigs. Now, of course, I've already updated my Mac, and you can see here that the new build number we have on Beta 11 is 22A5373B. So we have a B at the end, and coming from Beta 10 that had a D, that means this update took 2 steps in the positive direction. We're still not yet at the best and stable beta build that ends with an A, but that could be a possibility pretty soon. Now, you know Apple, and this is not all that they released today. So if we go to the developer page quickly, you can see some of the other updates that were released. So we have iOS 16.1 beta 5 released today, iPadOS 16 beta 12 as well released today, and macOS 13 beta 11. Of course, this is the video for that. And unfortunately, there's no watchOS 9.1 beta 5 that is most probably going to be released tomorrow. I'm going to be covering it. And we have tvOS 16.1 beta 5 that was released today. Most of these updates I do cover here on the channel at Halfman Half Tech. So if you want to keep up to date and know what's new with this Apple operating system and devices, then definitely do subscribe so that you don't miss out. Now, when it comes to some of the new features and changes that I hear with macOS 13 beta 11, the first one that I want to show you, if you go into your system settings or preferences and go to the regulatory certification, there's minor updates to this since Apple is adding support and coverage for more countries. So they've been just minor improvements compared to the previous beta that we're coming from. Also, when it comes to some other changes that Apple has implemented for developers, last week we saw how Apple changed the account section of the developer page with a new Outlook, and basically you have the ability to see your upcoming programs and so on, and this has been redesigned as well. But not only that, today Apple introduces Ask Apple for developers. So it's a new series of interactive question and answers that allows developers to be able to talk to Apple developers as well as Apple engineers and teams for basically a discussion on question and answers. So this is something big that's going to help most of the developers out there. Also, another change that's here is an update to the Safari build that we have. So the version is still the same from the previous one, 16.1, but the build that we have here on beta 11 is 186.14.2.9.1.8. The previous build had 186.14.2.9.1.4. So you can see how that has changed, and it seems a little bit better, and browsing is most probably more fluid. I haven't had a chance to really test out like HDR video playback on most websites since that was an issue with the previous one, but it's good to see that Apple is working on that. If you search for something on Spotlight search like Mr. Beast, just like this, I would be happy to let you know that now websites are now having the ability to be able to have the quick look. So for example, if you click here and would you press your space bar for quick look on Spotlight search, you can see that now this feature is working, unlike the previous beta where it was a hit and miss. And this will work whether it's YouTube, Instagram, or other sites or other websites basically that you want to look up when it comes to this Spotlight search. It's a good fix. And another change that's here that I want to show you, since a lot of users asked me to test it out, is continuity camera test. This is my iPhone 14. You can see that it's locked, and if I go into where it says video and select iPhone 14 Pro, you'll see that it takes a moment. There's still that delay that still needs to be fixed, but at least it's working here. And I'm just gonna put my iPhone right here on the table or on the hinge of the Mac. So we'll put it there, and you can see that basically my iPhone is recording. You can see that center stage is working. The more I move side to side, my hands are right here, you can see that it's able to track me or track whoever is speaking if you are in a large group setting. So it's still working for me, and for some people that are having issues with this, it could be a possibility that maybe the iPhone that you are paired with could be on a beta that isn't stable enough, or if you want, you can always check out some of the settings or video effects that you have here. You can see center stage. If you disable it, then when you move around, you can see that center stage will not be able to track you around. But for me, I like this. And also studio light, you can see that it's working. So this is something that I've been able to test out, and since this update is supposed to be coming out in October according to Apple, the developer website still says October, so I would like to think that they're just making final polishes when it comes to these major features such as continuity camera and stage manager. Now, I did get a request to test out the Bluetooth settings on this new beta 11 to see whether the advanced settings are back. So you can see here, if I was to click on the info here, I wouldn't get the advanced settings on any of the devices that you see here. Even my mouse, the MX Master 2S, there is no advanced settings in Bluetooth. And also when you see here, you don't have like an advanced settings on the bottom of the Bluetooth tab here. It's been removed, and hopefully they can add this back. Now also, if you're a person who uses VPNs and animations, I'll be happy to let you know that with this beta, it seems like most VPNs are working as they're supposed to. You can see the VPN that I use from time to time most of the time. So if this is something that you're having an issue with, then with this beta you can always try out the settings and enable your VPN, and it should connect with no problem at all. I was having issues before with Photoshop where I would load up my Photoshop like this, but for some reason it wouldn't load most of my projects that you see here, and I would have to go into the folder manually in Finder and then go into the projects and open up the Photoshop project, and then that's when it would show up. But that issue has been resolved. And then the microphone settings when recording on the Mac, like you do most of the time, has been fixed. So you can now select your iPhone that is paired with the same iCloud with your Mac, and then you'll be able to use your mic as required. So that's pretty good. There is some issues that are still here with this update. There's been reports, of course, of continuity camera when it comes to FaceTime, like I mentioned before, and also there have been reports when it comes to overheating for some Apple Silicon Macs, and some locked notes do not show up. This is a bug that's still affecting me, where if I have a locked note and I unlock it, it does not show that what the contents of the locked note. That's still an issue at this time. And when it comes to the performance that I have, beta 10 on single core using Geekbench 5, I had a score of 1325, and on beta 11 I have a score that's slightly higher with 1360 for single core. That's pretty good, and it's a plus. And for multi-core on beta 10 I had 8275, and on beta 11 I have 8434. That is pretty good, and it's a major jump, just going to show that, you know, the closer we get to an A build, the more stable this update is going to get, and the better performance we are going to be getting. Now, when it comes to the official release of macOS 13, we can expect a better build that's going to be getting an A. I'm not sure whether we're going to be getting two betas in the same week, perhaps beta 12 and an RC later on, and the official release most probably on the 25th. But that's just my rough estimation when it comes to this macOS 13 beta 11. So that's been about it. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.